Welcome to the Leader Lounge, where we meet with community leaders in Jasper and Walker County. I'm your host, Al Blanton, and today we welcome a very special guest, Joeletta Barrentine, who serves as the Circuit Judge for the 14th Judicial Circuit. Judge, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Yeah. So, there's an incredible picture of you, and it's dated March 3rd, 2020. And you're standing on a chair at Los Reyes Grill, and you've just won the election of Circuit Judge. Take us to that moment, and what did that moment mean to you?
Lord, that night, it really was, it was numbing. It was one of those things. I had told my family, okay, we'll go eat at Los Reyes and, invite anyone to want to. And so anyone that kept asking, hey, come to, I said, yeah, Joyce, we'll be there at Los Reyes. So I had a couple of friends say, well, after that, said, well, people would come and say, we want to see go to the Barrentine party. Do we have a table? And they said, well, there's a big party over here, and then there's one table over here that she reserved. I reserved like an 8-piece table. I mean, I thought maybe 8 or 10. When I walked in, and Scott, my campaign guy, looked at me and he was like, I'm cutting it.
Yeah.
It's over. And see, now I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
Because it was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then when I sat and looked at the numbers, and if you see in that picture, it's people from all over the county.
Yeah.
You can go through that picture and you can see, and it's just so special because my mother had just finished chemotherapy at that time. So her hair was really short and was growing back. My best friend, Kelly Dill, had finished chemotherapy and her hair had started growing back. So I'm getting emotional. My son, my husband, great people who had worked so hard, from the people of Jasper to East Walker County to Carbon Hill, from Cordova to Curry. I mean, you can see the map in that one picture. And just, I don't know, it just really was very overwhelming. And I did. I jumped up on that chair. They said, take a picture. And I jumped up on that chair like, I don't know, like I was gonna jump off.
Yeah, well, there was
heels. I was in high heels, and it was just very overwhelming to me. Yeah,
well, there was such elation. It was a great picture, and there's such elation on your face, and there was just a reason to celebrate.
It really was. And that night, someone had said, someone took me by the hand and said, "Do you realize you made history?" I really didn't realize that by running in that campaign, doing that race, that I would be the first female. It just never dawned on me that there had never been a female in our courthouse sitting in a judge's seat. And 2, that we had not had anyone from outside of the city limits of Jasper. And when someone pointed that out to me, I think it was emotional.
And we were talking before the show. I mean, I've kind of got that connection too, because my grandfather was circuit judge from 56 to 76, and then my great grandfather was circuit judge. So that's been something. I was telling you that, I have a gavel from the Alabama Circuit Judges Association. So that job and that judge's position certainly means something to me too. I know it's a big deal.
It really is. Being the first person in my family to, graduate and go to college. I look at legacies like that and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing to have that, that legacy that you have. And I hope that that's what I'm building for the future generations coming in my family, being the first in my family to graduate. And that's of my aunts, my uncles, my parents, my grandparents. It really is.
So it was a big deal from that context as well.
It is, yes. And, and I even this morning coming into work, I count my blessings. I thank God every day that I get to make that drive. And on the way home, when I'm headed out, whether I'm going to Summerton or some weekends, I'll head up to the lake to spend the weekend. I truly am blessed, and I praise God for that every day, because I love what I do. I love this job. At first, I will say it was hard. Because I loved being a GAL. That was my passion. I thought it was my purpose.
Guardian ad litem, right?
Yes. And so, I love representing children. And at a default, that was just, I loved going into the homes. I loved being there constant, because I think every child deserves at least one person in their life that is a constant. And that they can pick up the phone and call. They can always without a doubt know this person has my back. This person is for me, right, wrong, good or bad, whatever. They are going to love and care about me. And that's what I took to that position when I was a guardian ad litem. And so I thought it was hard for me to get past it because that job at the circuit court is a different job. It's a different level. It's just a different ball game. And it was very hard for me at first. But then some things happened, and I think that God has shown me that
You're getting acclimated
this is where
to
I
it.
need
Yeah.
I'm getting acclimated.
Yeah.
Even though my sign has been there for 3.5 years, I know that is my parking place.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I belong there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Your dad passed away, was it earlier this year?
Yes.
And from my understanding, he was a very unique character. There, Walker County produces a lot of unique characters, but what were some of the things that you loved about him?
My dad, he really was one of a kind. He, if you picture Chris Christopherson, maybe in the movie that he played in A Star Is Born with
Okay.
Barbara Streisand, so the shirt, the blue denim shirt, cut down, unbuttoned, not cut, but cut down to here, denim, the hair, the big gold, and I wear his big gold piece sometimes. The boots.
A man's man.
A man's
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
and everybody, he was a legend in so many ways. But the thing about my dad is he was a reader, and if he did anything, he did it to extreme. So if he was collecting coins or cast iron or widget, whatever it may be, he was going to have every one of them made. And he was very organized with it. He was very meticulous. So if you went into his little building, it was numbered, 1 through however many. And he had him a little system now that he's passed. I'm trying to learn that system and see and understand how he organized things. But, it's, he was one of a kind.
Tell me about his cast iron collection. I want to hear a little more about that.
Because, he has
Anything cast iron or just?
any and everything,
Okay.
and abundance of it.
Yeah.
From the rarest of rare pieces. So he had me looking for a particular spider skillet,
Okay.
which has the emblem of a spider web and a little spider in it. They were made in Erie, Pennsylvania. I know way more about skillets than I really want to know, right? Cast iron. And so he had me looking for that for a number of years. So after about 4 or 5 years, a gentleman out of upstate New York called and he said, I've got a buddy that has one. He's selling it. He really doesn't know what he's got, but here's what it's going to cost. And I was like, well, that was about this. Let's measure that in the number of cars that you could buy. But he, I said, okay, what can you buy? Buy somebody that needs or wants or doesn't need, that's what he got for Christmas that year. And it was probably one of his treasures. He actually had my name on that. And he kept telling me, he knew he was not doing well. He broke his hip back in September a year ago. And he really knew, so he kept telling me, come get your skillet, get your skillet. I had me a little pile of skillets over there on the side, and broilers and different things that I knew, and I just would never go get it. And recently, in the last couple of weeks, I did go get it. I have one of the things one of my greatest treasures that I have is a full set of Martin skillets. Martin is my maiden name. Martins were forged and made in Florence, Alabama. So of all of the skillets that I had, whether it's Griswold or Lodge or whatever it may be, whatever names they may have, Martin was the skillets that I wanted. And I told him one day, I said, Daddy, I want one of every size. Whatever they make, I would like to have one of every size because I love to cook. So all I cook with is cast iron or copper.
Yeah.
So one day he called and he said, hey, you've got something down here sitting on this porch. And I went down there and it was every one of them. And I said, well, Daddy, I don't need 2 of this size. He says, oh yeah, that's a Monday morning skillet. Well, I didn't know what a Monday morning skillet was, right? So it was supposedly when the workers went in that cast the back, they were intoxicated from the weekend before and had turned the skillet the wrong direction and had a few run of those skillets where that emblem was marked in the wrong direction. So he had even had that. So he just knew it. It's just like guns. He had if you gave him the digest, the Bible of the gun, the digest that you can get every year. He had every one of them. He read it from front to back, and he could tell you everything about guns and all of it. He was a self-educated type man.
Yeah.
And my mom was like that. My mom's very my mom can do anything. And my mom can fix anything. You know, I've watched her pull out a toilet and replace it. I've watched her knock down walls and put up a new wall and wire and whatever. My mother can do anything. So that's how we were raised. Just if there's a problem needs fixing, just do it. You know, when you say that Walker County is full of interesting characters, I think the majority of them are from my family. My mother's dad, he started stripping coal here way back in the 60s, I guess, or 70s, and he actually, I think he gave Drummond their first lease on properties. He stripped. There's a lot of properties that we still own, or my mother still owns, that he had stripped or different things. But then he left here and went to Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and started stripping. My granddad, Thornton, he lost his leg when he was 13 and never received a government check. He worked very hard to provide for his family and did very well. You know, it's just I come from a lot of, as you say, characters, but a lot of hard-working people.
Yeah. And it just sounds like your family's got such a rich history.
Oh, they do, and they're very, very prideful people.
Yeah.
Like I said, very hard workers,
Yeah.
and that comes from both sides of my family. I just was never taught. No one in my family ever said, "No, you can't do that," or they, I was never told I had to be something. They just asked me, "Just do what you wanted. Do what you wanted to." You know, my mother, I remember calling her from college and saying, "But I just don't know if I want to do Rush." "Well, can you still graduate if you don't?" "Yes, Mother, this is a social thing. I can still do it." "Well, what are you going to lose from it?" "Well, nothing. I can still wear that white dress for something else." Well, I did later go through. It was just my mother just did not understand those things.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that, they just, okay. They gave me no limits. They told me, go where you want to go, be what you want to be, make the sacrifices you have to do it. And they didn't just tell me that, they showed me that. And that's how I believe. That's how I've raised my child. Jace, my son, can tell you that I've never told him, show somebody Jesus or show somebody, good. I've always told him to show it. I've never told him to tell anybody anything. Don't go out there and tell people stuff. Show them. And I hope that's when you talk about legacy and like this position, I hope that I show the community. I hope that I show the next generation how it should be done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're a big music fan and concert goer. I'm shifting gears a little bit here, but you're a big music fan and concert goers. What are some favorite concerts that you've been to, and then who would you like to go see in the future?
Okay, well, I will say that, like you said, I've been to a lot of concerts. I've seen from Kiss to sitting, like I said, my granddad was big in music, and I've sat in the back of the Grand Ole Opry for years and had all of those old country singers at the house, and just, sitting around jamming with people like Vern Gosdin and George Jones and Vince Gill and that type of stuff. But, and I know this is cheesy, but when Trump come to Montgomery, I had the opportunity to be there, and my favorite song is "God Bless the USA" by Lee Greenwood.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't just crying; I was snot crying.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see him performing.
Did Greenwood perform live?
Yes, live.
Okay. Gosh.
At the Republican Convention.
You and Big Al Blanton would have been right there beside each other and weeping and.
Oh,
I mean,
squalling. I'm telling you, when I tell you, it was snot crying. I was crying, and Jeremy kept looking at me and saying, "Get a hold of yourself." I was like, "I love America." America. I mean, and he's like, "Stop it, just stop." And I know,
Did you have your bald eagle T-shirt on?
Well, I wish I had.
Yeah.
Like, but I was sitting with Matt Woods, and and his fan, and I was like. And Jerry was like, "Get a hold of yourself." I was like, "I can't help it." But that,
it's a patriotic moment.
It was, but and just to hear him say, he's not young anymore.
No.
He can still do it, and he still does great. And that's how I was when the last time I saw Willie Nelson. I was like, and, I mean, I can go on. There's a few of those older guys that I've listened, and like Don Williams. I went to see Don Williams, and I'm a simple person like that. No matter what it appears, that I try to,
There,
yes,
it
I dress
sounds
fancy.
it sounds like you're more of a like an '80s country.
Oh,
What about '90s country? You like '90s country?
there's some that's a little.
Dwight Yoakam, or you Yoakam, or
Hey, I
straight, or like?
I can go. There's not much country that I don't listen to. I
Okay,
don't listen to the new stuff
yeah,
really. There's a
yeah,
few new songs that,
yeah,
and some new artists, and there's some young artists that have some old
yeah,
sound to
yeah.
them. But
When Kenny Chesney kind of started doing the beachy stuff and the puka shell necklaces, that's when I kind of stepped away from it. So
exactly,
yeah,
yeah,
um,
yeah. I just don't see wearing boots on the beach, and
right,
that's just
right,
not my thing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's a place for it. But now you can also find me with, like, Jeremy and I were on our way back, and he was listening to Violet Films or
yeah,
Violet
yeah.
Films. Okay.
Films, I think. I don't know.
Films, I don't
I don't
know.
know how to pronounce it.
I had never heard any
Yeah,
of their music. I just
yeah,
didn't. I mean, one
yeah.
song is
It
all
may
I,
be themes. I mean, I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Well,
So.
Jeremy was, he's like, you don't know this song? You don't know this song? I was like,
Right.
okay, big boy, do you
Yeah.
know this song? This is what I was
Yeah.
listening to when
Yeah.
you were hanging out listening to this.
Right.
It was Yo-Yo Ma. He's a violinist, and he's
Yeah.
like, who listens to this? I was like, I do. This is what's on my playlist. I have playlists with this on it. And so we'll be on the lake, and no one wants to listen to my music because, like, you make it old,
Yeah.
even older than 80s,
Yeah.
real Hank Williams,
Yeah. Yeah.
Marty Robbins type music. And then the next song you get, maybe, Doja Cats or something, something crazy that you wouldn't expect.
Kind of a mixed bag of
I'm a mixed bag of music.
All right, now we need to move on. So let me. I've got some rapid fire questions. One of the things we do here is do rapid fire questions, just kind of get to know you a little bit better. So kind of sticking with this music theme. Favorite music decades: 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s. Where are you on that?
Probably 70s, 80s.
Okay. All right. Question 2, what is your fashion guilty pleasure? This could be like buying shoes, purses, whatever. What is your
Probably all of them, but maybe shoes.
shoes?
I love shoes. I am guilty of buying 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, my wife's a big shoe person. Yeah. Question 3, would you bungee jump? Now I thought you were tough now, Judge. I mean, now you're not going to bungee jump?
I think I would probably jump out of an airplane before I jumped.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, I agree with that statement.
I don't trust the rubber band. I trust the parachute.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And the fall from the airplane, I feel like I could maybe do something before I hit the ground or something. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't have time on
Yeah.
a bungee. Okay. Question 4, how long? This is a good one. How long do you keep your Christmas tree up?
It's 26. It comes down because my son's birthday is January the 3rd.
Okay. All right.
We're not celebrating a birthday with the Christmas tree up.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I like to put mine up put ours up real early and then let it go for to put like mid-January. So that's where I'm at.
No. Now this year I'll put it up. I do not light it until Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
So because I decorate the lake house and I decorate my house in Summerton and the courthouse. Actually, I decorate everything. I go a little overboard.
I like it.
I really try to go overboard because we don't have snow here. We don't
Yeah.
have the natural Christmas feel. So I
Right.
do everything I can to make it feel like for real Christmas. To the ribbons, to the bows, and everything. Well, I'll start decorating next week, and we're going to Las Vegas for Thanksgiving to watch Alabama play basketball.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be up before I go because when I
Good.
come back that Thanksgiving night, we're sleeping in Christmas pajamas.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
carrying Christmas pajamas for my
Yeah.
in-laws,
Yeah.
my son's girlfriend. Everybody's getting Christmas pajamas come Thanksgiving night. It's Christmas. We
Good.
are going to sleep in Christmas pajamas.
Good. Well, Ryan and I may come over.
Yeah, y'all come over. I'll go get you some too. They're beautiful wreaths, and I'm going to embroider everybody's initials on their pajamas.
That'll be good.
I go overboard now. I go overboard.
All right, let's keep going. Favorite thing about being a mom? You got to keep this short now. We're rapid fire, so I know you could go all day on this, but
Just knowing that just knowing that you have the influence in a child's life to make a difference in society.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. 6, if you could time travel to a different era, where would you go?
Oh, I love the fashion of the 20s. I also love ancient and medieval times. I just love the history being made. That's when our, part of our civilizations was really big at the time.
Yeah, cool. One thing you do that helps you to relax.
I needlepoint. I needlepoint and do embroidery.
Yeah.
I used to make jewelry, but that became very in high demand, and I started selling a lot of it, and then got a lot of orders, and it just got very busy, so it wasn't relaxing. So now I do needlepoint and embroidery.
Cool. 8, least favorite household chore.
Bathrooms.
Yeah.
I just they're just small and everything. It's just I just don't like cleaning the bathroom. Digging the hair out of the drain. It's just gross.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't. This is really sad to say, but I don't make my bed ever. I don't care. I mean, like, my wife makes the bed every single day, and if she wasn't around, I would never make a bed.
Yeah.
So that would be mine. Is that a household chore? I guess it would be.
I guess it would be. Yeah.
All right, number 9, sweet treat that you like to indulge in. This could be an iced coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, something at Lavish Coffees, Milo's. You're laughing already. Milo's milkshake. This is going to be awesome. Hit me with it. What is?
I have every sort of nerd in my purse right now.
Nerds, yes.
But I love candy.
Okay.
I love candy.
Yeah.
Right now in my
I'm
car,
a big candy.
in the office, everyone knows that I always have candy. I have this little box. It's like I call it a candy charcuterie.
Yeah. Okay.
It's this little, it has these 6 little dishes or little bowls, and you put it in, you click it down.
Yeah.
Has a handle. Right now, it has 6 different types of candy.
Wow.
And if you get in my car and ride, I will offer that to you. The people that, this is public, but I offer rides to a lot of people who are walking in our community, and I always offer them candy as well. Now, I know it's not nutritious, and I know that they could probably use something a little better, but really I only have candy.
But is Nerds at the top?
Nerds, is that the gummy Nerds, the little, the little
What about Nerds
clusters?
rope? Isn't there Nerds
Love
rope?
it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love the Nerds rope. But the clusters are my favorite right now.
Yeah.
I will buy, and this is it, I buy everybody a pack for almost every birthday. I think everybody loves them too.
My sugar intake on a daily basis is astounding. I mean,
mine is.
I start out with several cups of coffee and dump sugar. I've got to get it under control. But it used to be 3 blow pops a day, and a bunch of Werthers. I'm a big Werthers guy. I'm like an old grandpa. But anyway.
No, I love candy, sour candy, anything.
I love it.
But now I love cake and ice cream and all that too. Don't get me wrong.
Same way.
As my son says, my diet consists, because I'm a vegetarian, consists of salad, cheese, and candy.
It's good.
That's pretty much it.
Good mix.
Salad, cheese, and candy.
Well, Judge, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a lot of fun, and I've just had a blast talking to you and just getting to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely, it's been great. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. For Judge Joeletta Barrentine, this is Al Blanton. We'll see you next time on the Leader Lounge.